Let's talk about social selling. First off, what is it? Social selling is when salespeople use social media to interact directly with their prospects. There are a few different ways to engage in social selling, but if you really want to embody the inbound way of doing business, then your salespeople will provide value by answering prospects' questions and offering thoughtful content until the prospect is ready to buy. There are a lot of reasons to consider why social media is a perfect place for your sales team to engage. A few years ago, research firm Serious Decisions found that 67% of the buyer's journey is digital. What that essentially means is that individuals are no longer going into stores and browsing or picking up the phone to reach a sales rep to make a decision. Instead, they're looking at online reviews, reading forum commentary, watching videos made by the company and by customers, and asking the internet about your products and services. This happens long before they will reach out to the company. As a salesperson, your goal is to reach them in this research phase to help influence the purchase decision early on. Additionally, LinkedIn says that 78% of social sellers outsell in comparison to colleagues who don't use social media. Plus, IDG tells us that 84% of C-level and VP-level buyers are influenced by social media when purchasing. Sounds like a good reason for your sales team to become socially savvy, right? Here's how to get started. First off, consider your buyer persona. This helps you to be more targeted in your approach. If you are selling swimming pools, for example, you aren't going to care about people living in urban high-rises. You want to reach homeowners, potentially with kids, and with a certain financial demographic. Narrowing down who your buyer is helps you become very focused in your outreach strategy. Then, use social listening to identify your audience. It will help you determine which platform they are on, how they use the channel, and what topics that they are talking about.
Social monitoring certainly makes a difference when it comes to social selling, especially for salespeople who want to seem more informed about a buyer's needs or their industry. For example, by understanding articles or trends in that market, you could use that to send over to a prospect to appear more informed about what is important to them. Similarly, you can monitor forums on LinkedIn or organic conversations in which somebody may be asking their peers about which sales enablement platform may be best for them or how to implement it. That's your opportunity to then serendipitously reach out to them with your ideas on what sales enablement platform might work for them. And typically in those forums too, their information, their first and last name, the company that they work for is right there. So you can either, use other platforms to put those pieces together and find their email address, or even reach out to them right on LinkedIn.
Next, follow the right people. Don't be indiscriminate and follow everyone. Instead, follow individuals who will provide industry information that will benefit you or your customers and prospects, expand your network, for example, partners and suppliers, fit your buyer persona as a potential buyer of your product or service. Following the right people, particularly on Twitter, will also help you build your audience. Create a list of companies or individuals that you want to build a relationship with and follow them. Building your social audience might take some time. Focus on quality over quantity. Sure, it gives you social clout to have thousands of followers, but if none of them are going to buy your product, does it really matter? What you really want to do with your prospects is to build a relationship. Very few people like to be sold to. What you want to do is build rapport first. And you do that when you provide value, respond with information or ideas or casual commentary, give information away for free, provide advice. In other words, build trust. But be careful when you decide to add the sales pitch. Your pitch needs to be at the right time and presented in the right way. For example, a few years ago, I was overseas and very frustrated about my phone's data plan. T-Mobile knew that they needed to be in the right place at the right time. They knew what they offered was better than what I had at that moment. They offered exactly what I needed, unlimited data. They also reached out after watching the conversation and seeing that their competitor hadn't responded after several hours. They brought me specific value at the right time, and they personalized it by including the initials of the salesperson. When I DM'd them, there was no pressure, just information. But that exchange was enough for me to end a 25-year relationship with my carrier to switch to T-Mobile, who made me feel important and as if I belonged. But if I hadn't been looking to make a switch and they tweeted at me to switch, the same message would have come across as spammy and annoying. Timing is everything. You should also follow up. Social selling takes time, and small touch points matter. Think about the long game. This is especially good for product launches or the early stages of a product roadmap. Begin networking early and build the rapport in the months before the product is available. That's the perfect time to have casual conversation that isn't about your product, but builds trust and rapport. So when your time comes to sell, your audience is more receptive. Always strive to be authentic. Don't use canned messages. People can see your conversation history and see that you say the same things to everyone, and then you just become spammy. Contribute to groups on Facebook and LinkedIn. Again, it's about being a valuable member of the group. Provide value, not a sales pitch. Build trust and rapport by demonstrating your expertise as a thought leader. This is also a tactic that will take time. But in a group, you are bringing value to a wide net of people, which means that your potential return could be that much greater. One thing to think about is how you can try different types of content when interacting with customers and prospects. Short videos with a tip or trick can be easy to create, and they provide value while humanizing you beyond email. When I came on board at HubSpot Academy, Professor Addison Zhang put together a short 19-second welcome video for me, and I was floored. And I'll never forget her as a result, and now I'm delighted to collaborate with her on projects. Now that's powerful, right? A few final thoughts. Social media used to be a bit freer, but now people are becoming more concerned about their privacy. Additionally, spam is everywhere, and you don't want to be lumped in with more nefarious salespeople. So build a relationship first. Customize your messages and be authentic. Also, don't invade spaces that people may consider to be personal and private. Facebook, for example, is more heavily used for private activities between friends and family. And unless your audience has agreed to receive marketing messages from you, interactions may be seen as invasive. And last of all, be yourself. People want to interact with real people, not with brands. So there you have it. Good luck and happy social selling.